Again, those of you who are used to using kinesiology tapes might be used to doing what we call a bridging type technique, where you would put one end on and then put your other end on and then bring the wrist down to bring the tape in contact with the skin. Now again, we want to avoid those sorts of applications with our dynamic tape. Again, we're talking about much higher forces here, many kilograms compared to grams. We're going on in that really short position to really pull on things. So if we just start at one anchor point and we stick our other anchor point on first before we come down, what we're really doing there is focusing all of our tension, all of our force and pressure on those anchor points. So if we do that, we're more likely to get a reaction, or we're more likely to have the tape come away because of that 10, 15 kilograms, 25, 35 pounds of force going through it. So what we would do is we would apply one end, we would once again peel the backing sheet off to our proximal anchor, take up the slack along the whole piece of tape, apply that down, and then apply our anchor at the end with absolutely no tension on it once again. So that way we really make sure we have no tension on our anchors, but we have nice uniform tension along the rest of the piece of tape. Now for something where we were trying to do the wrist and finger extensors, we generally split this and run off the fingers. But for this purpose, for demonstrations here, we'll just come off the back of the hand. So we would anchor there. Again, we would peel that backing paper off so we can take up uniform tension along the whole piece. So you don't lose your position, which is really critical. We need to contribute force into this system. We need to maintain that short position. Use your body. It might be your chest. You might be resting an arm on your shoulder. You might be pushing a foot up against your thigh to create your dorsiflexion, whatever it is. But you need to maintain your position. Then we maintain our pressure on our anchor so that we don't get a reaction there. We take up the slack. Again, I'm not strongly stretching, I'm just taking up the slack along that whole piece. I'm using my thumb to anchor so that my fingers can smooth down once again. And then I'm applying it all the way along, and then I can apply this other end with absolutely no tension. You may want to bring in a soft tissue boxing, pinching offload at this end as well. And if that's the case, you just create, basically, you smooth down to a little bit before where you want that box to occur. That becomes a second anchor point. You pinch all of that soft tissue together, take up your tension across that area that you want boxed, and then you stick your proximal anchor on. And you can see how we get this soft spongy area developing here from that boxing effect. Okay, you may then bring in above and below, or an X across to maximise your soft tissue offload and reducing that mechanical strain on the tissues themselves, or mechanical stress on the tissues themselves. But we'll touch on that again, on how to create these box unloading as opposed to a space creation technique with your kinesiology tapes, which is quite different. But for these, now that we've done this, sure, we can now bring it down and make sure that it's well adhered and hold that well in those hollow areas. Press and hold once again for that good adhesion on the ends. But don't start with the ends and then come down, or you just get far too much pressure on there because of the force in this tape, and you're going to get either reactions or it's going to come off due to that excessive shearing.